All right, welcome to part two or your second installment of the Breakup DBQ. So, the first step that we're going to do in taking a look at the Breakup DBQ is to read the prompt. So, Asher and Melissa broke up last week after having dated for just over a year. Both appear to be heartbroken, are both claiming that the breakup was not their fault. Analyze the extent to which Asher was at fault for the breakup with Melissa. So you have this prompt here to read. You can also see the prompt on our DBQ right before you get to the documents here, okay? And then also you'll see it at the end or in your separate packet. It'll be at the beginning of our DBQ brainstorming sheet, okay? So those are the two places that you can locate it. Okay, so after you have read the prompt, you're going to go to step two, which is to read the documents. You're going to read each document carefully and answer the prompts that follow to the best of your knowledge and understanding of the documents. You may not be able to answer all the questions for all the documents. Answer the ones that make the most sense to you or for you to consider given the prompt and what you know about the situation. This is the important analyzing the source piece, okay? Just to give you a preview, if you take a look here, you've got document one. The source is a conversation between Melissa's mom and her friend Gail. And Melissa's mom says, I'll be honest, I never really liked Asher a whole lot. I mean, he's a handsome and charming kid, so I don't blame Melissa for liking him, but he's just a typical teenage guy. I tried to tell Melissa when they first started dating that Asher wasn't mature enough to handle a serious relationship, but she was just too smitten with him to listen to me. I saw him at his baseball games making eyes with one of the cheerleaders. It was plain to see, but Melissa promised me they've just been friends since fourth grade, and it wasn't like that. Yeah, right. So now what you're going to do is you're going to assess what's the main point of the document and how does it connect to the question about whose fault it is for the breakup. Then you're going to take a look at four different things. We call it HAP, HAPP. What does HAP mean? If you go to this slide here, you have to explain how or why rather than simply identifying the document's point of view, purpose, historical situation, or audience, and how it's relevant to the argument about the prompt. You have to do this today for three documents. Well, actually, you're going to do it for four documents today. You only need to do one of the four options for each of the three documents, not all four of them. So if you want to take a look at this, you would think about on the DBQ breakup. First, the main point, and then the historical situation. What's going on in the time period that affects the author or the source? Why does it matter? So, when does this take place? Does it seem like this happened after the breakup? And how does that affect, and why does that matter that this is happening after the breakup? Who's the audience? So, who is this written for? How does it affect how you interpret the document? So, this is a conversation. It's a transcript of a conversation. How does that transcript of the conversation and who she's talking to? Melissa's mom's talking to her friend. How does that affect your interpretation of the document? Point of view. How could the person being Melissa's mom affect your point of view? So, in the bigger scheme in a historical document, how could the author's nationality, class, race, gender, religion, occupation influence their views? Is this document reliable based on the information from the source or the author? So, do you think that this is a good, reliable source that would inform who's at fault for the breakup? And then purpose. Why is the author writing it? What is the intent or the goal? Is the document reliable? So, what was the purpose of this conversation? Does that make it a reliable document? So, that is just the process of how you're going to read each document. So, we are going to pause now. You're going to read all seven documents, try to answer as many of those questions as possible. But if you get stuck on one, bypass it because it may not be relevant. So, go ahead and pause, read the documents, and you are going to answer these questions. Come back to part three when you are done.